How's it going, ladies and Bruces? I'm Bobby Sixkilla, and welcome back to the Divine Deception. It's time for us to kick back into Locke's storyline, which is, it's pretty interesting, not gonna lie. I'm curious to see, hopefully Bark will be able to win this. We've already killed Olimpo effectively in the entire overarching story. So the next thing we need to take down, the duets, which we kind of did with Val's actually, since Yi is gone and Marduk is gone. Though I don't know how Marduk is gone, but he is gone. We just need to take down Aja, and we good. But, hopefully that's what'll happen here. Let's jump in, shall we? Sell the play. The late sky was electric. No, not the sky. The air. There was an energy emanating from the air, or at least I felt like there was. It was a familiar, comforting feeling. Oddly comforting. On the surface it shouldn't feel safe. It should actually feel dangerous. This is the energy in the air I felt when a con was in full swing. When I was going to put the moves in motion. And almost by definition, that meant I was assuming risk. It wasn't actually safe at all. But the actual matter of the fact as to whether or not I was safe wasn't the point. The reason I got this feeling in the air was the familiarity of it all. And the excitement. Frankly speaking, I got an adrenaline rush from all this. Telling blatant lies, coming up with new ones on the spot, pushing opponents to the edge, always being one step from the brink yourself. I had to be careful with this way of thinking. At times it felt like I was dangerously close to becoming some sort of adrenaline junkie. It was important to remember the thrill of it wasn't why I did it. It was perhaps fourth on my list of motivations. Still, it was empowering. And I needed empowerment at times like this. At times when I was willingly charging head first into the lion's den. I got up from my seat on the bench. Alright, time to start this. Excuse me. I began leaving Panthea Central Park, making my way over to the nearby governor's office. I lugged a small bag from my laptop with me. This is a tricky point I was about to reach. Honestly, when I came to Panthea, I never thought I'd have to make moves like this. But, well, you play with the cards you dealt. At this point I was close. I almost had enough pieces. But I was still missing some information. I was still missing some opportunity. Before I could start knocking over some serious domino pieces, I needed a bit more wiggle room to work with. Which brought me to tonight's mission. Maybe I'd just be shot straight up. That seemed unlikely for a number of reasons. And anyways, I had some backup plans for such an eventuality. Always have a backup plan. That was the mantra I'd been sticking to, less as of late. I had frankly gotten myself into some situations that went far too close for comfort. But none of that mattered now. Right now I had the tempo. I'd use it. I walked across the street to where the governor's building was. I'd given some thought as to how to approach this night. Or rather, who should approach this night. Alternative identities were almost certainly the greatest weapon I had under my belt. I utilized multiple personas to great effect back in Aurea. Using them basically turns a one-man army into a small armada, in some senses. It was a difficult balance to juggle, no doubt, but the results spoke for themselves, and I've used them to similar effect so far here in Panthea. I found it was quite a lot easier to create false personas online. Still, I was no slouch with disguises and voices in the real world, which meant as I came to meet with Aja, I gave some serious consideration about who to be for this. However, the more I thought about it, the more certain I became. This is a job for the slimy conman, Locke, no question. There was a disadvantage that a lot of people knew me by this look, this name. Was that really a disadvantage? I didn't think so. In fact, I thought it might be an advantage in disguise. I could use that. My look into the past was interrupted as I began to actually enter the governor's office, or at least my attempt to. See, it turns out that at late hours like this, it's not actually open to the public, and I counted on that to some extent. What I didn't think about ahead of time was how to actually get in. Which, okay, maybe that's a big thing to not figure out beforehand. Sue me. Still, I doubt it would be that big of a deal. I went up to the glass double doors and started banging on them. I would shout, but I was pretty sure they wouldn't do much. I saw Secretary Ghani sitting inside. He saw me knocking on the door. However, at first he just looked at me in disgust. But I kept knocking. Eventually I saw a relenting look cross his face. He reached down to press something. Then I heard a clicking sound. Did that mean the doors are unlocked now? I tried to test that theory by pushing on them. Sure enough, they opened. Sick. Sometimes just blindly trying to barge in actually works. Who knew? I walked into the lobby and up to the front desk. As I approached, the look of annoyance on Secretary Ghani's face became more and more clear. Hey, look, man. I don't know what your angle is, but you can't be here. It's after hours. That means no visitors. Oh, really? Sorry, I didn't know about that. Why is that, if you don't mind me asking? Why they're after hours? No, why can't I be here? I don't know, man. Security issues? We don't like complete strangers wandering around. Oh, I get you. Security must be a big thing with these enforced doors back there and everything. Exactly. Though, you let me in for just knocking on the door without much of a second thought. Doesn't that make you pretty bad at your job? Gunny blew a fuse. Aw, man, I shouldn't be needling him like this. I just couldn't help it. Look, man, just get out of here, okay? I'm already in a bad mood. I'm not supposed to be stuck at this job. The guy who's supposed to be here suddenly got real sick. Aw, man, that sucks. It feels good taking night shifts when you're not supposed to. No kidding. Anyways, you gotta go. Look, I'll be out of your hair real quick. I just need to meet with Governor Aja. She's still here, right? Buddy, a lot of people who want to meet with the governor. Usually they make appointments. You want me to make an appointment? Look, this is urgent. The governor really needs to hear what I have to say. Shoot her an email. No, it has to be in person. Well, that's a shame for you, isn't it? Doesn't matter where her whole candidacy is at stake. I'm just going to skip past that. You have to let me see her. I'm saying this for your sake. If you don't, and she finds out you didn't let me in, you're going to be in hot water. Oh, how scary. But I'll take my chances. This guy really is a jackass, huh? Fine then. I play things his way. Look, man, can you just ask Aja if it was alright? I could. Would you for 20 bucks? No way. Now 50 bucks and maybe we can start talking. 25, 40, 30, 35, 30. Okay, fine. Alright. What's your email? Huh? What's that got to do with anything? I don't have cash just lying around on me. You got a Pluto, right? Right. Then we'll do it like that. After a bit of grumbling, Gunny accepted. He gave me his email and I sent him the cash. After he confirmed he received it, he reached out to the phone on the desk. Hey, Aja, someone's here to see you. No, not him. It's some random person. He says... Yes, I know that it's not policy to let them in. Yes, I'm sorry. But look, this guy really wants to talk to you. Says it's a matter of the whole election. I mean, he looks a little shady, but not dangerous or anything. I just don't see why you wouldn't hear him out, just in case. Okay. Okay. He put the phone down. Wait 1 second. Secretary Gunny then reached down and opened one of the lower drawers in his cabinet. I couldn't quite tell what was going on. What was he pouring around there? It was unclear to me. Whatever. I waited as I was told. After a few seconds he straightened himself back up. Alright, Aja's office is down and to the left. Past the paintings, door with their name on it. You don't have a lot of time with her. And that's starting now, so hurry over to that room. Thanks, man. Secretary Gunny just shrugged. Dick. He's almost certainly embroiled in Aja's dirty schemes. To what extent I wasn't sure, but he was definitely dirty too. Oh well, bigger fish to fry. I walked down the hallway that Gunny had pointed out. As he mentioned, there were some tacky looking paintings on the side. Then further down the hall I saw the door I was looking for. Had the identifying plaque and everything. Cool. I hesitated a bit as my hand reached the doorknob. Pre-game jitters. Could never fully get rid of them. But those jitters were energy. Use it. Direct it. With a sense of purpose I turned the door handle. I made my way into the office. Very quickly it struck me as very... Aja. Not only because of the giant painting of Aja hanging up on the back wall, although... Holy shit. I mean, really? The image of Aja sitting right in front of a larger-than-life painting of herself was palpable to say the least. Anyway, this is far from the only thing that stuck out to me. The walls were littered with Aja's own achievements. The closet wall held a bookshelf that put across a false look of intellectualism. This whole office, it read more as a stage than an actual place somebody would work. But whatever. That just confirmed what I already knew. I noticed that the lamp on Aja's desk was lit. Seeing that, I turned over and flicked off the light switch. Excuse me? What are you doing? Just setting the lighting more to my tastes. It's late, Miss Governor. Having the lights fully on won't work. Better to dim them. Still, just flipping the light switch like that is rather rude. And also, it makes it harder to see you. Well, that's fine. You don't need to see me that clearly. I must say, sir, this is a pretty bad foot to start on. You know, I'd feel bad if it weren't for the fact that I'm pretty sure I already blew my first impression. I mean, barging in this late at night? That was already a bad foot to start on. You're not wrong. Still, you can turn that around at any point. And trust me, I will. But if I'm already on the wrong foot, I might use that for a bit. That is an interesting way of thinking about things. A fun way, I like to think. I began to walk around the room performatively. I took big swings with my head to emulate looking around speculatively. My oh my. So this is the governor's office. Swanky place you have here. It's got a real gubernatorial air. Is that the right word? It is. And thank you. I continue my walk over to the bookshelf. Man, I'm kinda envious. My place isn't half as pretty looking as her office. Really built something special. Occasionally I picked up a book from the mini library behind me and opened it. Gee, I never would have imagined I'd step foot into a high-class place like this. What are you doing? Huh? Why'd you just pick up a random book and open it? Oh, I don't know. I guess for dramatic effect or something? It looks stupid. Put that back. Oh. Sorry. I placed the book back on the shelf. Man, I didn't think Aja would be so mean, so quick like that. Oh well. I've gotten what I wanted from the interaction. And for that matter, correct your posture. You slouch more than anybody I've met. I did, Aja. Smart of you to pick up on that. I decided to just lean against the bookcase for the rest of the conversation. You're hurting my feelings here, Miss Governor. Show me some mercy. Apologies. You seem to have caught me in a bitter mood. Oh really? Sorry to hear that. What's wrong? Just, a lot. If we're going to continue the conversation, would you mind if I got your name? Sure thing. The name's Locke. Pleasure to be of service to you. Instead of a look of surprise, a small smile came across Aja's lips. Ah, sharp this one. I thought I recognized you. Oh, you recognize little old me? How flattering. What can I say? If you're the campaign manager of my electoral opponent, I make it my mission to know you. That right. Honestly, I didn't think you'd know about me like that. You're hard to find information about, Locke, I'll give you that. But I have a very thorough campaign team of my own. I was just making conversation, but this is actually a point that had been turning around in my mind for a while. As many pieces I might have collected about the city, one of the blind spots of mine is Aja's knowledge of my help in Buck's campaign. At this point, it makes some sense. I've been acting in a more official capacity in a lot of ways, doing some campaigny things. But what was weird was the assassination attempt back the same night I failed to swindle Polly. I've been thinking about things. Aja's mystery man must have been stationed there before the con began, and on that point, I hadn't done much of anything for Buck's campaign. So how'd she know to come after me? Pretty much nobody knew about my agreement with Buck. The best answer I could come up with was Ossa. He saw a lot of my first interaction with Buck, and even though a lot of the important points he missed, it's theoretically possible that he could have put the pieces together himself and come to the conclusion back then. The question is, how that information got from Ossa to Aja? And being an underground casino, Nahoy's Nest, and by proxy Ossa, probably held some deference to the duets. I didn't know the extent of that. So then did the information flow to the duets then to Aja? It was possible, but that suggested that Aja and the duets were a lot closer than I gave him credit for. Anyway, I put it together, things felt weird. Whatever. I'll think about it later. Hey look, I just have to say it. I respect the work you guys have been putting in. I think you've been doing a great job. I mean, not just in the campaign. As a politician, I don't really have any complaints against you. A little moderate for my tastes, perhaps. A few weird decisions here and there, but a really solid resume all in all. Why, thank you. This is quite a generous thing to say, although it does raise a question. That being, if you're such a fan, why exactly are you supporting my political rival? Oh, that. Well, everybody has their own angle. I'm sure you can understand. Plus, I might not have a beef with you, but I still think Buck's better overall. Between the two, I prefer him. Really? I know, an election between who's better instead of who's less worse. In this day and age, crazy. I mean, you really think Buck would be a better politician? Somebody with no prior experience in government? Middling education, unclear policy plans? I shrugged. Maybe. No maybes about it. If Buck got into power, Panthea would chew him up and spit him out. That or it would swallow him whole. Maybe. Maybe? That's a pretty important point, Locke. One I think deserves more consideration than a maybe. Maybe. Aja was not amused. Oh, lighten up. Where's your sense of humour? Oh wait, don't tell me. You left it with your pride and your conscience a few years into office, am I right? Ugh. Locke, what exactly do you want? Please do not tell me you popped in for a social meeting. I have a point. I'm getting there. But before that, I have to ask, do you really think you're going to win this election? This, of all things, induced an actual chuckle from Aja, however brief it may have been. Are you serious? Is this the real question? Of course. Are we looking at the same polling results? I mean, I know being a campaign manager is probably a new racketeer, but anybody with eyes should see the signs. It's not going to be close. So that's your opinion, huh? It's not an opinion, it's a fact. Honestly, this meeting is giving your campaign more legitimacy than it's worth. Harsh, Aja, but fair maybe. As it stands, the election is favoured for you. Perhaps not to the extent you think it is, but still, you're winning. Though the heat of the election has brought about all sorts of rumours. Indeed it has. Ridiculous, the lot of them. Some border on slander. Slander only refers to spoken statements. The rumours you're referring to would be libel. Huh? What? People spread rumours by speaking, Locke. That is slander. Oh, that's how you get your rumours. How old-fashioned. The internet's a wonderful place, Aja. Is there a point to this little diversion? Not particularly. Anyway, these rumours, You're so wild, so ridiculous. They say the darndest things. I mean, I heard this one the other day. You've been embezzling money from the government for years, and you keep an unfathomable amount of dirty cash hidden somewhere in this very office, just in case things go south. Yes, that's a perfect example of a ridiculous rumour. Aja would be great at poker. Her face is perfectly controlled. Probably got it from all those years as a politician. Unfortunately for her, she was dealing with a professional. You couldn't fool these eyes. Well, you actually could, but she didn't this time. Her reaction, as restrained as it might have been, told me everything I needed to know, which meant it was time to start circling in for the kill. I'm going to be honest with you, Locke. My patience is getting awfully thin, especially as you start talking about complete wastes of time, like these ridiculous rumours, or entertaining the notion that Buck and I are on anything that resembles on an even playing field. Looks like Aja wanted to get to the point as well. Alright then, I wouldn't deny her. I stood up straighter. You want to talk shop? Okay, let's talk shop. I think you're a person I can talk shop with. I don't know what shop there is to talk, however with you. If it means ending this sooner, then yes, let's be straight with it. I'm sure you've done your research into me, Miss Governor. I'm sure none of what I'm about to say to you is going to be surprising, but I just want to make sure you understand where I'm coming from. The fact of the matter is, I don't really give a shit about who's Panthea's governor. I mean, I got preferences, sure. It's only human, but I'm not staying in this city for long, and if the whole place burned down the moment I left, I wouldn't really care all that much, just being honest. How blunt? You think that's blunt? I'm just getting started. I became Buck's campaign manager through trickery. That's the only way someone like me could become one, don't you think? The reason I really wanted to be Buck to become governor is because I have ideas on how to profit from his victory. But that's just a means to an end. All I care about is getting cash. Not just getting paid. I want money. An obscene amount. Enough to live off for the rest of my life. Am I clear? Painfully so. I'll give you this, you're certainly shameless. Shameless doesn't even begin to cover it. My point in saying all this is, even though I'd like for Buck to win, I'm fine if you win, as long as I still get paid the big bucks. Alright, I think I get it. Aja cut in, a self-assured look on her face. I see where this is going. You're about to offer to throw the election, right? You think you could squeeze me for some change by flipping sides. Is that it? How dumb do you think I am? You and I are perfectly aware you have no grounds to stand on as much as you'd like to pretend, so before you can even ask it, no, your request is denied. Now get out before you embarrass yourself any further. For a moment I didn't say anything. Then I began to laugh. I couldn't help myself. It started out slight and then grew in intensity. Before I knew it, I was almost keeling over from laughter. All the while, Aja watched with a disturbed concern. Soon enough, I reeled myself back in. I pulled myself together. Oh, Aja! I wiped a tear from my eye. You've gravely misunderstood what is going on here. Miss Governor, your read of the situation couldn't be worse. You're trying to call this bluff of someone sitting on a straight flush. I don't believe you. I don't believe what you want. I'll get... Before I could finish my statement, I broke out into a heavy coughing fit. Ugh, my throat was killing me. And that burst out of laughter might have pushed it over. I really need water. But I didn't have any and the meeting was already in full swing. I'll just have to push through at this point. You okay? I'm fine. My throat's a bit sore. Just been doing a lot of talking lately, that's all. Nothing to worry about. Now then, where were we? You were blustering on about me being wrong. Oh yes, that's what it was. I began reaching into my pocket. Just you know, Locke, I don't take the way you've been talking lightly. I was willing to wipe away this whole thing just moments ago, but if things continue like this, I'll have to... Found it. Pulled out the photo I was looking for. Then I walked forward and slammed it right onto Aja's desk. Aja took a second look at it. Then she reached forwards and grabbed it, a desperate look coming across her face. Now it started. Time to slowly increase the pressure. Cook Aja to a boiling point. Interesting picture, right? What is... How'd you get your hands on this? The picture desperately clutched in Aja's hands was pretty simple. On a dark night, Aja was seen talking in private with a shady man in a grey hoodie. Innocuous on its own, but Aja knew what it meant. Before you get any funny ideas, I have copies, obviously. You were the one who vandalized my home. Harassed me. Harassment. Vandalism. What's all this about? I was just sent that photo by a fan of Buck's. No idea how it was taken. You little... Hey now, you're getting awfully worked up. I just wanted to know how you know this guy. What's your connection? Is he your brother? Good friend? Did you know him? Did you not know him? Was he harassing you? That seems unlikely. You two seem pretty close in this photograph. So then maybe he's employed on your campaign staff. Playing the silence card, huh? Pleading the fifth, as it were. I get it. He your secret lover? New person you're fucking? Finally moved on from your husband? Fuck you. Whoa, hey, no need to get hostile. I'm just trying to get the facts here. Get out. Get out of my office. Whoa, take it easy now. I hope I haven't offended you at all, but I really don't think you want me to leave. That'd be bad for us both. This is nothing. This photograph? It's worthless. That way you're gripping it so tightly. You're right though. You're right. That photograph? Total garbage. Luckily I got another pretty sweet pic to show you. I pulled out the second photograph I had stored in my pocket out. Again I placed it on Aisha's desk, and again Aisha gripped it. This time when she looked at her eyes flashed with pure horror. She knew exactly what this meant. Not the best shot composition, but you get what you pay for, I suppose. How is this possible? Don't ask me. Honestly speaking, when this photograph fell into my lap, I was feeling pretty damn lucky. I mean, 2 shots of this mystery man? What are the odds, you know? Oh, back to silence, are you? That's no fun. I had a bunch of questions I wanted to ask you. Like that. See that right there? Can you tell what's in his hand? Yeah, it's weird. To me, it kind of looks a bit like a weapon. Don't you think? And then there, in the background. Where was this photo taken, do you think? That background looks kind of familiar, you know? Well, maybe you've never been there, but I certainly have. And you know, that background looks awfully familiar. Kind of looks exactly like the location a pretty violent crime occurred recently, wouldn't you say? Huh. So wait, you got this guy who was shown holding a dangerous weapon, and he was shown to be at the scene where a dangerous crime involving that weapon took place. Huh. Well, how about that, huh? Oh, and he was also last seen meeting with you. Gotta say, Miss Governor, this isn't looking great. As a campaign manager, I would urge you to get ahead of this story. This is the sort of thing that enemies could use against you. What do you want? Finally ready to play ball, Aisha? Huh? What don't you understand? Sorry, I didn't hear what you asked. Bullshit, you heard me. Really didn't. What do you want, Locke? What do I want? I want a lot of things, Miss Governor. I want world peace. I want a loving girlfriend, or a boyfriend, I'm not picky. I want to get that one damn Talay song out of my head. I mean, I swear. It's like it's on loop or something. Locke. Aisha was losing it. This is the state I needed her in. As long as I kept it like this, things would work out perfectly well. Let's put things a different way. What do you want, Miss Governor? You know what? I bet I could guess. I bet you want me to drop dead right here and now. Sorry, not happening. It wouldn't actually help. Failing that, I bet you'd want to keep your position as Governor. Want to keep working in this nice office of yours. You probably definitely don't want the media looking into this set of pictures. I mean, they're nothing on their own. I can see it, but come on. It's a bad look. Definitely ruins your ability to meet up with this guy anymore. Probably gets Buck in this serious conversation. And you know, through it all, but you also wouldn't want to give up your money. Just seems unfair, unwarranted, and downright uncool. You like money. Money buys you stuff, and I'm certain you don't want to have to part with any of it. But, if I had to guess what you didn't want the most, I'd think that I'd have decent odds of getting it right. Just between you and me. So that's all it comes down to, you scum. An ugly attempt to get your mitts on some cash. That's what this is? That's all? That's all. What bubble are you living in, Miss Governor? Newsflash, the world runs on money. Prisoners walk free for money. Countries go to war for money. Nations crumble for money. People will lie, cheat, steal, and kill for money. I think you know more than anyone. You little... And while I'm on the subject, everybody always criticizes the desire for money as greedy. That people doing crazy things for it is desperate, small-minded. I've always found that an unbelievably privileged view. I mean, if you already have money, yeah, getting a bunch more usually won't make your life better at all. But if you don't have money, food, shelter, health, every goddamn thing that matters in this country is either restricted or in jeopardy. It's not shallow or materialistic to care an obsessive amount about money for some people. It's entirely rational. You know, I like to ask people what amount of money would it have to be offered for them to take one shot at their own head in a game of Russian roulette. You wouldn't believe the amount of people with the gall to say, no price. The amount of people who say that nobody should agree to something like that, no matter the context. What an utter lack of perspective. Tell that to the person who just got their family evicted. I mean, are you saying you wouldn't risk your life to be able to get $1 billion? At the very least, if only to give all that money to charity and save who knows how many lives. Total hypocrisy. What are you going on about? The hell does this have anything to do with anything? You know, you actually bring up a good point. I sort of went on a personal tangent there. All of that doesn't have much to do with this situation. I already have enough money, and I'm making more by extortion instead of being a meaningful member of society. Then again, the person I'm taking it from is a heartless empress with unknown millions smuggled away to her personal savings. Unknown millions? Huh. Where are you getting these figures? Here and there. But you raise a fair enough point. It's completely possible that the rumours aren't true, that you don't have a secret stash stored away in here somewhere. But for your sake, I hope you do. It's really the only way you're going to be able to destroy these photos. What are your terms? Thanks for asking. I fished in my pocket again, and so I brought out a note. I placed it right in front of her on her desk. That's everything you need to know. The amount you need to bring, the date, the time, the location. I tried to be hospitable to you. You're welcome. I'll be meeting you there myself. I'll come dressed in a grey hoodie, maybe a face mask. Just a little inside joke between the two of us, you know. Like your guy wore when he almost killed me. Do you want me to apologise? No need. Besides, I really have no desire for a false apology. And right now, I can't imagine that anything you'd say towards me would be genuine. Well, you've gotten that one right. I've gotten several things right, I believe. That's why we're in this situation. Anyways, I believe I've made the terms clear. Then I think our meeting tonight is over. I begin to move from the room. However, I actually didn't want the conversation to be over quite yet. Hold on. I paused briefly. Yeah? How can I trust you? That if I do what you ask, those photos will disappear? That's a good question. I guess. You can't? But just remember this. I'm a snake. I'm only looking out for myself in all of this. And I'm also pretty realistic in my expectations. I mean, relatively speaking. I still want a shitload of money, as is clear. But things like power, fame, legacy, I can take or leave all that shit. It all seems pretty hollow to me, though each to their own. I also don't need an infinite supply of money forever. I read the studies about how more money doesn't really improve your life at a certain point. I've got two priorities, getting a lot of money and staying alive. With the capital you're going to give me, I can live more than comfortably for the rest of my life. I can invest that treasure trove in a safe stock portfolio and let the money make itself. I don't know if I poke the bear any further than what I've already done, I'm likely to get my arm chopped off. So tell me, what possible gain could I get out of showing those photos after you pay me off? That's not proof you still won't do it. Again, you're right. It's impossible for me to present that proof. You know as well as me. So I guess you're gonna have to take the risk. If you think the chance I'd expose myself to your wrath outweighs the value of the cash I'm asking for, then take your lumps and start working on a way to get ahead of those photos. But I think we both know you're not quite willing to lose the ivory throne you've killed so many to sit upon. And you should know that really, you're only out here is to pay me and hope that I hold up my end of the bargain. But like I said, weighing the odds, make your own decision. I can only tell you the truth so many times. And now I could walk out of the room safely. I walked back through the hallway and eventually past Secretary Ghani's desk. Thanks for letting me in. The governor and I had just had the best chat. Don't care. Secretary Ghani had resumed looking at his phone, utterly checked out. Man, how did a guy like this climb Aja's ranks so high? Actually, it's probably because he climbed so high that he got away acting like this. Still, it's bad practice for him. He should really care quite a bit more about the events happening around him. Who knows when those events could be extremely relevant to him. Whatever. I continued my exit, walking out of the building. And just like that, I was free. In and out without major incident. Good. That's good. I was safe now. Relatively, at least. I thought that went well. For my purposes, at least. Still, the night wasn't quite done yet. I still had something I wanted to do. In fact, I wanted to do it right after that. And so I made my way over to a nearby diner that was open 24 hours a day. Pretty much nobody was inside. That's great. Really, I shouldn't do this in a public place, but I couldn't be fucked. Nobody here knew anything. Nobody'd look in here for anything. I'd probably be fine. Probably. I ordered a drink and took a seat at the table at the back, wall directly behind me. Then I took out my laptop from my bag. Let's see here. Ah, damn it. Connection issues. What was the problem now? Let me see here what I could do. Oh, are you serious? You gonna spring this on me now? Fucking hell. I'll bring you back. Can't see any 2x2s. Alright. We are back. This is my answer. Like it or lump it, I'm afraid. Because like I said, like last time, if they say it's wrong, fuck 'em, we're moving on. But I can't see anything wrong with it. All the numbers are correct. Each yellow has 4 empty spaces and 4 lit up spaces around it. And there's no 2x2 empty spaces. And it's not making a noise. It's not making the you're wrong noise either. It's just doing nothing. Fuck you, game. Moving on. Aha! Connected. Live and running. You can't say I didn't try. I did my due diligence. Like fish in a barrel. Aisha was sloppy. She mirrored a paranoid ruler. What with hiring assassins and whatnot. But if she was really a cut above, little tricks like this wouldn't get me so much ground. Anyways, I just appreciate gifts like this as they come. Of course, given access to the governor's office, I wasn't going to come in and chat. The way I work is an all-encompassing swarm. Having a single plan, single line of play, single intention. That was a recipe for disaster. That was opening yourself up to having everything explode in your face. Throw 100 punches, lay a dozen traps, hire 3 hitmen, just in case. When I was picking up that book, it wasn't for dramatic effect. It was creating an opportunity to slip a hidden camera in that highly secretive office. Now I can hear directly from the horse's mouth. So then, why don't we just have a little look-see on how Aja's been taking the news? This should be fun. I put on some headphones, opened up the feed and looked forwards for the show to begin. As I opened the feed, it seemed as though Aja was pacing around as a nervous wreck. It seemed like I'd done some serious damage. I don't know, okay? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I get it. Still, what the hell? How could that moron let this happen? Huh. I heard a somewhat unexpected voice come from the room. If I was not mistaken, I clocked that as the voice of the Chief of Police, Ariane. At first I was confused. Where was she? The camera angle was very bad, but the office wasn't particularly big. Was she right out of frame? However, as the conversation proceeded, I quickly caught on that Aja had Ariane on the speakerphone. I don't know. All I know is that it's absolutely outrageous. It is unacceptable. I mean, screwing up the job, whatever. Unexpected circumstances, things go awry, I get it. But this? It shows a complete lack of competence. Just stunningly stupid. Exactly. Ugh. Aja collapsed onto her desk. I'm just fucked, huh? You're jumping to conclusions. I'm fucked. Explain to me how I'm not fucked. I agree, in most cases this would be fatal, but our intel pig's Locke, as how you describe him, entirely self-interested. If he gets a big payday, he'll just go away. Are you serious right now, Ariane? He's a complete opportunist. If he sees a weakness, he's going to milk it for all it's worth. Not if he's smart. If he's smart, he'll get out while he's ahead. He's not smart. He's an idiot. A dangerous idiot. He'll remain a thorn in my side. That or he's leaving. He'll still publish the photos as a parting middle finger. I just stood back up and began walking over the oversized portrait of her. Maybe the only way to save face is just to give him the money and hope for the best. She gripped the portrait's frame. Can you afford it? What he's demanding? Yeah. I mean, it'll hurt. It'll hurt a lot. It was definitely well within my personal budget. So I just pay him off and pray? Is that the play? I don't know. It's tough to say. It's tough to say. Real fucking helpful. Easy, Aja. I know this is stressful, but don't start lashing out at me. I'm just trying to help. You're right, I'm sorry. This just fucking sucks. Indeed. This is the risk, I guess. The risk? Wrestle with dogs to catch fleas. Or however the saying goes. Are you saying this is my fault? I think it's clear whose fault this is. I'm just saying, ever since you decided you were going to actually act as governor, you opened yourself up to situations like that. It's just something you'll have to deal with. Again, I just seem to collapse. I'm really losing myself here. You think I should try and get into contact with the Jinn? They might have insight on how to deal with this. Are you serious? You really think about trusting the Jinn with this? The Jinn? The fuck's a Jinn? A genie. I mean, desperate times, right? The Jinn is on our side. They seem to know stuff. This is the perfect time to try and use them. Seriously? Aja, it became clear to me that the Jinn was not really on our side ever since Maximilian Collins' case. I mean, hijacking the cock-rob and killings like that? We don't know the Jinn did that. Who else, Aja? Who else could have known? Well, whatever. After everything the Jinn has done for us over the years, suddenly he throws a wrench in our plan without even telling us one time, and we can't trust him? I've been saying that we can't trust him since the start. Anybody who sends one-sided contact to you from an anonymous source with a suspicious title is not someone we can trust. Frankly, I've been against him for a long time now. What's to be against? Sure, this whole anonymous angle is sketchy, but the Jinn has been nothing but supportive of my political career since the very beginning. They've constantly provided us with information that has kept us alive. In my case, literally. That attempt was dead in the water from the beginning. Hard disagree. The Jinn has supported us in extremely helpful ways for years, never asking for anything in return, always being on point, and he never questioned why he would do any of this. Of course I have. You've heard me question this many times, but even though the motivation is a mystery, it seems very clear to me that it stems from a place of being on our side. It's too convenient. At this point, the Jinn might have given you a ton of information, but they also have mountains of evidence on you. We're talking about liabilities. I say the Jinn is a bigger risk than anything else. Huh. This is extremely important info I'd stolen. These words I overheard were worth their weight in gold. Forgetting the words are weightless. The Jinn. Was this the bit I was missing? Another player in all of this? Or an existing player by an unfamiliar name? Someone had been supplying Aja with useful information, whatever that meant. The most curious part of it all was Ariane pointed out, the why. Why protect her like this? I get if it was an extortion racket. I mean, duh. Obviously I get an extortion motivation, but no, apparently no payments have been made. And seemingly, there had been no direct demands or threats made yet. If none had come after this many years, then either someone was really playing the long game, or this wasn't the angle. So then why the support? And why do it in this weird method? Does somebody benefit from keeping Aja in that position? Or, I haven't fell into the trap of assuming everyone else operated on a cost-benefit analysis principle. Was there a different motivation at play that I wasn't seeing? As interesting as this all was, I was missing important conversation. I tuned back in. We can handle things ourselves. Okay then, how should we handle things? Seems clear to me. How do we usually handle conflict? Locke seems a pretty guilt-free target. Huh? You have a date, a time, a location, a physical description. Things don't often get this easy. But he knows about our main weapon. You don't think he's going to maybe factor that in? There are other options. We just have to get creative. Huh. So that's how it is? They finally landed on this option. Gonna whack me instead of handing me a briefcase of cash? Damn. That's a shame. I would have quite liked that money. But getting the briefcase is always something of a pipe dream. I never really expected it to happen. That was never the point, anyways. I mean, a mere briefcase of cash? What low sights do you think I have, Aja? My plan's a lot bigger than that. No, the point of my little meeting was always to start threatening Aja from various angles, force her to show her hand. By exposing her, making her make suboptimal moves, plenty more opportunities were opening up to me. So you wanted to kill me, huh? I could work with that. After all, it's not like Aja was the only one I needed to start putting it on tilt. If I was clever, I could start applying pressure in a number of different directions. Sorry about what's going to happen to you, Miss Aja. Almost feels cruel. But I planned on winning my game. To do that, I need to start taking enemy pieces. That was the only way I'd get a direct shot at the person I was playing against. Gold key. Yes. Ah, Aja. Sweet, sweet Aja. What were you doing? My girl. Well, not really. To be honest, I likely couldn't stand her for more than 15 minutes. In a lot of ways, she embodies exactly what I hate. Me too. So true. I hate her, as I suspect many others might. But I hope those who throw spears at Aja do so for the right reasons, not the wrong ones. Because there's a lot of stupid reasons why people might hate her. Like saying that her whole corruption scheme has taken away people's freedom. Ha! Freedom, at least. The way people currently understand it is a myth. There is no true freedom. After all, if you gave everybody true freedom, then the cunning and ambitious ones could use it to restrict the freedom of others. And they would. They do. Now, by its very nature, the idea of freedom for everyone can't exist. It's just a matter of who has the power of freedom, in what ways. Please don't misunderstand me. You won't find a bigger proponent for freedom than me. Trust me on that at least. I just see freedom for what it truly is. How it could be. We got a gold key, which means we can continue... I don't know. I thought Laverna's was on gold, but it's not. It's on silver, so... I guess we're just going to carry on with locks in the next one. That was a long one. Woo-wee. Well, actually, it might just be that puzzle they sprung on me at the last minute there that made it long, but who knows. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.